Hello! Welcome to another drawing session. Thought I would do some work on just some sketches first, just some random poses. So, yeah. And then we'll work on some redraws, like finishing up the last little bit of this one and working on that new one I started. So, yeah. First, let's get some warm ups out of the way. Do, 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 do. Okay. Okay. Oh, there it is. Sorry. Okay. All right. I hope everyone's having a pretty good week, or a very good week. Sorry. It's been pretty cool. It's been a bit all over the place, but I guess overall all right. Hello, thanks for dropping by. Excuse me. Just working on some warm-up poses, and then do some more difficult ones for using my my past drawings, and then I'll work on the redraws. Do, 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 do. Oops. I might have drawn her too tall. That might be part of the problem. Yeah. So, whoops, we're bad first one. That's okay. That's why you do these. The shake the dust off. Oops, that's a little low. Is that up here? Yeah. That's more like it. Doo-doo. Yeah, I usually like to start with the torso, because then because I used to draw the head first, and I would always get the pose for the rest of the body wrong, because I would just habitually go to my certain kind of poses with the face, and it would match the body, like a 3/4 view or something, and it wouldn't really quite match where the head should be. Dun, 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 dun. Hello! I'm glad you could drop by. Just doing some warm-ups. So sorry if I'm a little quiet right now, just to know. Some guys. Thought I would start off with some anatomy warm-ups and then go into like trying to put my characters in some of these poses. So. And then I can work on the redraws later. That new one, and I have another one I want to work on, probably with the gargoyles one, because that's an old drawing that'd be fun to redraw. That for a pose. That'd be fun to use for like June. Bum, 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 bum. Do, 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 do. Oh, this will be hard, but it's not for a challenge. This is just gonna be a face drawing. Face and hair. Mainly because of the hair. It's got this interesting style. I don't draw braids much, but I do have a character that has them, so it'd be good to get good at it. I played a little bit of Silk Song, and it's been really fun. It's so funny how viral some of the characters in that have already become. Like the little singing pilgrim with the bells. She's so it's really adorable, like little song. And some people have actually made like shorts where it's just you can learn the song. I thought that was pretty funny. This is why I need practice. Especially because this one looks a little different from the ones I usually draw. 'Cause the ones I usually draw are more like that kind of, and then it just kind of has like that kind of effect. I think it's because of where this is, the perspective of this that's changing this one. So, to watch me bang my head as I try and, maybe it's because it's, maybe I just need to do that actually. Not what I just said, but like make the full thing and then draw them in it. So like this is the beginning of it. So that goes like that, and you have this, and this, and this. Yeah, more like that. So still a little bit not great, but better. Like some kind of like cleaner than before. So you gotta start with a big shape first. Even if this is not 100% right, at least it's better than what it was. Because before it was... Actually, that's what's wrong. That should have been... This should have been here. Let's try one more time. I think I got it. Because if this is like... Yeah. This is what the trick is. I always forget. It's a zigzag. There. And then you build on that. So the flash with this, we can decide that goes over here. That. Flat round, flat. Sig. Didn't work out. Try again. I'm just gonna do the braid. I'm determined to get this. You can't just like, you just gotta keep trying things. And even if today is not a great... Even if today's not me at my best, I still need to at least give it a shot. Oops. Sorry. Hello, I'm glad you could drop by. I'm doing some warm-ups, so I was trying to get better, trying to do this hairstyle that's been... I always have trouble with braids, so I'm trying to tackle these right now. Bum. Bum. This is just weird. I don't know what it is about this one that's making it extra hard for me. I think it's just because of how small the curls are. Because usually I'm used to like bigger, making bigger braids, but this one's kind of... See if I have an idea. I'm having thoughts here. What? Not you. Computer, why do you do this to me sometimes? Okay. Third time's a charm. Okay. Oh, sorry, I'm in the way of my thought. Okay, never mind. Let's see. Okay, yeah, it starts around here. Hey, Mikey, he likes it. I think I'm getting it. See, it's always good to try a couple times. It's not. You're never. It's never going to be on the first chance that you get something 100% right. So it's good to just try again and again. Like, this isn't perfect even now, but it's better than it was the first try or the fourth. So. It's a good way to like just get out of your comfort zone and try something new. Like figure out a new way to build upon your style. Because the worst thing you can do is just if you have a specific way you'd like to draw, that's great. But adding more shapes to that language by like just getting better at more types of like figures and hairstyles is a good way to avoid like same face syndrome and or even just like your figures looking too similar in general. Like if they're related, that's one thing, but even then they should have some like no one looks 100% like everyone else even when they're related. So this is I blew this up a lot. That's okay, because I'd rather it be too big and be able to shrink it down like that and have it be right at either scale than have it be wrong and have to shrink and then warp it and all that stuff. So yeah. I'm excited to work on that Dinosaurs one again, because that was a cool idea. It was just an old drawing though, but so need to be updated. But bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Oops, too dark. And just draw the body landmarks like the rib cage and you got some help on that the other drawing I was working on. I shared it with some other artists, and they gave me some good advice on lighting, which I might even look into some courses because I think I'm falling into bad habits. Maybe even I'll just post it on more places to make my work on more places for critique to make sure that I'm just not getting into these like shortcuts that don't work, because I mean I do have some classes that are just like in libraries that I haven't watched in a while, so it wouldn't cost me anything, so maybe I will. Color theory is really quite complicated. Hello, hey, Art Ninja. Me too. That's what I wanted to start off by just practicing some hairstyles and poses, because it's good to just. It's always good to go back and make sure that I'm not drawing things wrong, because that's a quick way to make figures look off when working on the comic. So, yeah. That's okay. For that one I was working mainly on, and I'll probably do a few more actually, some braids, because I found I could really improve on those. Or just different hairstyles in general, like this. Let's do this one too. Hello! Glad you could drop by. Starting out with some quick sketches, just doing some anatomy studies, and then I was going to work on the redraws a little bit, because I made a little bit more progress on. Wait a minute. Hang on. Ugh, I hate when I have to do this. 1 second. Nope, everything's good. Sorry. Didn't want any spoilers. Okay. Oh no. I never. Those seem so stressful. I don't know how if I could. I got a hand to you for even trying. Those are. They make. I'm sure they make great streaming, but I just. I'm so particular with it when I do play those that I would be so nervous to lose my favorites. And I'm not really strategic enough in those games to not lose them. Like I just be like, I got this. Oh, what happened? Where'd he go? Oh no. Torchic, no! You were so young. I would like to replay Silver again. I only got to play a little bit of that one because I was borrowing it from a friend. Oh wow, huh? Yeah, that sounds kind of rough. Yeah, I don't think I could do that. I did play once this dystopian version of Pokemon where everything was like someone made it was just like a version you could get on like Nexus or something, or I forget, but like it was like all like dystopian, like dark, and everything, all the Pokemon were like these dark reflections of themselves. I forget what it was called, but your sounds just better thought out. This was kind of just like slapdash together, which is why it was free. It was just someone playing around with the code to try and learn some like game level design. Oh jeez. That's usually me in all Pokemon games. Unless I grind a lot. Because... I'm trying to think if I had trouble... I don't think I had... Maybe... I think in Sword I did pretty good at the first gym, though. Because by then I kind of, like... I was... Yeah, I had a tough team by the time I got to the first gym in Sword. But usually I'm never sure what to expect in the first gym, so I would always just take a risk, and it would sometimes work out, but usually not. Usually it would be just like they're 10 times stronger than I expected, and they just wreck me. Oh wow. Because isn't Nuzlocke also you have to like you can only grab the first of a type that you find in an area, and you can't have more than one of each type. Is it from each area, or is it just in general? I forget. I've only watched other people play Nuzlocke. I've never actually done it myself. This is cool. Someone did a cosplay of Rogue. I'm gonna try and draw this. I like her hair. She's got that cool, like, really thick hair. Changes color. Oops, I'm blocking my chat. Sorry about that. Yeah, she. Yeah, no thanks. And kudos to you for drawing. I could never do that. That seems like a lot of work. I already play Dark Souls in Elden Ring. I don't. Well, I've played a little of Elden Ring. I need to actually try that sometime. I was gonna save that for stream. Although I do want to kind of play a little bit on my own because I don't. Much like with the Game Grumps, where they, like, Aaron was smart and waited before he played Bloodborne, because especially after not playing it for so long, I'm going to be very rusty. And I don't need that on top of, like, trying to maintain chat. That would be really hard. It's like, oh look, we got out and we can see the tree, and oh god, there's that knight. Yeah. Oh, I remember. I made the mistake of buying the Prepare to Die edition for the original Dark Souls, which is a bad idea when you haven't beaten it yet. It's like, hey, you know this game you're not ready for? You just bought the harder version of it. Way to go. I'm like, what? Oh no! Why did I do that? It's like, what if I put mods on? It's not gonna matter. You just got the one with all the more monsters. Why did you do that? I don't know. Like, oh gosh, I keep forgetting the name of the demon that, is it the Kappa? No, it's the one in Dark Souls that, you fight two dogs with it, and, if it was just the way the boss was originally made, I probably wouldn't have a hard time, but when they remade it, they made, like, 3 dogs instead of 1 that comes after you. So you have to be so much faster. Yep, that's what it was. Captive. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. I was right. Okay. Yeah, it's not a hard boss. I mean, it's not an easy boss because none of them are. Only a few of them I might even classify as, like, not too difficult. But that one has a very specific strategy, and if you can employ it, it's easy. But if there's, like, oh, I don't know, like 3 dogs and, like, another respawns before you take them out, and now you have more, and there's this big dude with, like, double skeletal swords coming at you, and he it's like, this is turning into a bad fight, guys. Help me, help. And I tried to cheese it too by, like, you can throw AoE things into the arena before you walk in, but they don't last long enough to, the damage doesn't last long enough for the boss fight. Because I threw some dung in there first, and it poisoned him, but Then when I went in, the health was back, and I'm like, oh no, I just made it mad. now it's stinky and mad. What have I done? I have made air. Smells of poo gas, and I just attacked. Now it wants revenge. I have become air. I love that from Dragon Ball. I'm getting kind of scratchy with this one. I should be slow down a little bit. Yeah, I've had that. Where you're just like, you're just so tired that you're just like, okay. It's just, I think I had that with when I finally got Titus's sword, his ultimate sword in Final Fantasy X. I had just like no joy in my heart. I was just like, okay, we got it, great. We're not getting any more of the weapons. We already have Orin's weapon. We're good. Having two heavy hitters is and I think in Yuna's, because Yuna's is the easiest. Yuna's, I think, is all you have to do is get the Mega Sisters, and then like I think that allows you to make all of her other ones break the 10,000 limit. Yeah. That's what I'm. That should be. I think that's right. I didn't bother. I couldn't. I couldn't do that one. Like, nah. It's like, because I mean, the only thing you would be using there's only like a few fights in the game where you need that many people doing that much damage, and the one fight that I never could beat anyway, even with that, is the what's it called, like the Ultra Mega Weapon, which is basically like a beefed up version of that other boss fight, and you where it's just got like so much more life, and it can just like one hit pretty much your entire team, unless you have, it has a move that just like wipes the team if you don't have like auto life on, it just finishes them all off, and you can only fight it in the monster arena. But I forget what, and yeah, I heard it a bit, but I don't think I ever got like, yeah, no, that's okay. I was just like, I'm good. I beat the game. I got Orin's sword that looks okay. And Titus, I can't remember what. Hang on, for all the hard work, it's funny because I can remember a lot of the characters' final weapons in most Final Fantasies, but 10 for some reason I only remember a few. Like, I think I remember Orin's because Orin's my favorite character. I think is my favorite character. Just because, I mean, he's a cool guy with... Plus, he's cool because Square Enix has this thing against drawing or creating older characters as playable characters. And he's probably one of the oldest characters you can play as. Right? I think, I'm trying to think in other ones if there was anyone that was older than him. Because I know in the earlier ones, I think like, I think in 6 there might have been someone older than him, but I mean, they're pixel characters. You don't get to see their features that well. Which is why I always hoped that they would remakes like 4 or 6, just so you could see those character designs like how he wanted. Because you can kind of see them in like I think there's like some remade PlayStation cutscenes where you can see them. So that was pretty cool that they did that, but like they're only like a few seconds long, so you don't really get to see them for long. Let's see what other haircuts we can do. Oh, speaking of another Final Fantasy character, since I'm in the mood to punish myself, let's draw Riku. With her crazy hair. Okay. Oh right, duh! I should have known that, because yeah, he's an ancient. He's from a species that's similar to the ancients. They're like this species that's been around that lives incredibly long. Because I think in the end of the game, you know. Which one's wait. I meant human characters. Who's the first human character? Because that's human shape, but that thing is not. Yeah. The funny thing is, there was also a character in Final Fantasy. I think wasn't it 6 where there was another character that looked just like Kino, kind of, but it didn't have a chef hat. It had something else. No, was it 6? I think it was. It was 6. I'm pretty sure. There was another character that kind of was the same kind of like character design to an extent. You found them very late in the game. Cause yeah, Kina's a she. Yeah, she. Or is it he or she? Okay. Sorry, one second. Stupid chat box is cut off. From. Oh, okay. That's what it. Yeah, as far as I know, it's an it. They kind of like it. In the description, they said it said he, she, kind of like, but it's really an it, isn't it? Because it's not human. It's not a human form. So it's like, I mean, it's human shape, but not human physiology. So, and it can eat anything, which is weird because there was a feature in Final Fantasy VIII called Eat, and everyone could do it. So, you could eat a T-Rex. Which was very strange. And funny. I made sure to do it at least a few times just for fun. Because well, there was, I think, like Grandia 3, I think, had a cool feature where, and later on in I think it was that Dragon Quest movie, they did this too, where like you started as the younger, like teen characters, and then like something happens, and then well, in Grandia 3, the adults come to try and save the children, but then they realize that they're not going to really stop them from their quest, so they just try to assist them as much as they can. And like Dragon Age had that kind of cool thing where like they had multiple generations in the story, which was kind of a cool idea. I haven't really seen that done much. Unless that's a, I think it might have been done a few times in the Dragon Quest series, though. I only played because I know they did it in 11, because I played that one and I really liked it. The story was pretty cool. I'd say my only beef with the Dragon Quest XI was the silent protagonist didn't work for the story that they were trying to tell. Because there was so much. I think I've griped on this on here before, but there's so many points in it where they were revealing like crucial facts about the main character's family, and it was so sad. And everyone else would like be crying and emoting, and the main character just kind of just like looked a little bit upset. And I'm like, buddy, that's your mom and dad. You found out the truth about them. Why are you the quietest one here? It's like even Link talked to his uncle when he found him in the castle. Granted, we didn't hear it, but at least we knew he'd talk to him. All the main character does in that is just kind of like has a sad look on his face, and I think like a tear falls down or something, and I'm like, your friends who were just kind of like half like barely knew your parents are sadder than you. This is a mess. So it did not come out quite how I wanted. It's okay. But yeah, Junction was weird. Here's another one with a nice long... Oh, that's... curly hair. I'll try another curly hair one. I keep hearing rumors that they're remaking 9, so... I think there's just been production issues, but... I keep hearing that there's like... that it's in the works. And I would love to replay that one. Ringlets. I'll try that next, yeah. Yeah, I was going to do a couple different hairstyles. And then go into character poses, putting my comic characters into them. But I haven't really drawn this hair this curly in a while, so it's kind of like full body kind of tricky. There's definitely a method to it, but I always forget. It's kind of like you just gotta start with big shapes and work down to the smaller curls. Oh, there is? Huh. Yeah, we'll see. I'm hoping it's good, because, yeah. Like, I saw that, like, really quick teaser one, but I haven't seen anything else other than that. Well, this hair is nice, too. That's like a wig, though, so, yeah, I don't want... Hello! Thanks for dropping by. Just for doing some hair study, like body and hair and everything. I'm like practicing some anatomy, and then I was going to work on some poses. So, oh, this is cool. These are like people cosplaying as Oh yeah, I was going to say I was going to try this hair next, so I'll do this one afterwards. It's got. Oops. Where'd she go? Where'd she go? I lost her. Oh no, where'd she go? Oh, there she is. Yeah, it'd be more fun. It'd be fun to see more of the old school Final Fantasy stuff brought onto the new systems. It's been alright. You? Because I'm a little bit tired, but otherwise, just, like, caffeinated now, so. That's why I felt like today would be a good day to just, like, practice anatomy, and because other than that, I was gonna do some redraws later. Like, I gotta still gotta finish this one up. So pretty excited to get this one done, like, cleaned up, like, a little bit more. I got some help on a good critique. Someone gave me a nice critique on this. So really, the only thing that they said was the lighting was just what needed work the most. I mean, the rest, I have to clean up some areas, but I'm pretty excited with that one. So. do. Oh, I started listening to Coraline and the audiobook for it at work. That's been fun because I was gonna watch the movie, but I'm like, wouldn't it be more fun? I've seen the movie so many times, and I do want to still watch it, but I have another month before I really have to, before it's really appropriate. So I figured it'd be more fun to listen to the audiobook this month and then watch the movie next month. It's funny how in the book there's just like Oh, thanks. Yeah, I love playing around with the like overlay, like the add glow effect has a really nice, like, energetic pop to it. So it really just like brings a lot of life to a drawing. So. Yeah, Coraline's been fun to listen to again. Because the other mother doesn't even hide her deformity in the book. I was just like, wait, really? Coraline, what's wrong with you? Spider Lady bad. But I guess like she was just such an adventurous person in the book that she didn't really care. She just saw it as like, huh, you look weird, but whatever. Like she kind of was excited about the danger. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Sorry, Purple, I didn't see yours for a second. But yeah, no, when someone gives you an honest, like, critique, it's always nice. In, to be fair, I was asking for a critique, so, like, they were, I gave it to them to, like, rip apart. I'm like, tell me what's wrong with this, and they're like, oh, this, and it was just the, it was missing this, the, I added that in afterwards, like the lighting up here near the sword. Like, yeah. Yeah, this. Like, I didn't have that in there. Or that. Or this. So, yeah, it's... Let's see. This one would be good for study for color too, because she's got this, like, she's got a wide range of color on her face. Like her nose is kind of more of a, has like a red to it. Kind of cool. And her hair's very red, so. But I'll do it later. This is supposed to be a line. This is for line drawing. Actually, let's get into the. I think I'm gonna get into the poses now, so let's do that. Drawing my characters in in different poses. So let's do that. Let's draw. Who should we draw? Maybe. Right. Yeah, especially when you get it, because I'm always nervous about when to use it, and like they just pointed out like an option for where the lighting could come from, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. That's a good spot, because like it's supposed to be like this like dark, it's those are Skyrim characters, so they're in a dark like crypt, so figuring out where the lighting's coming from in a place with very little lighting can be tricky, but they just pointed it out there, and I'm like, that's fine. And I think did I hit them in there? I forgot. I looked away from it and I already forgot. Yeah, I added these are from Oblivion, but I put them in a Skyrim setting because I think they're pretty. I think they were in, maybe they were in Skyrim. I can't remember. But they're like the Aelid crystals. They're these like crystals you can get that like, I think they were only in Skyrim. I mean in Oblivion, but like they like resonate and they like let off a low glow. So I was gonna play around with them and get them just for like a nice like subdued lighting, which would give you that rim lighting. I might even put it in the silhouette of a ghost behind them. That might be kind of cool. Yeah, totally. Yeah, let's get to action pose. Oops. Where am I? Did I ever? Yeah, that can be tricky. Oh, actually, yeah, let's draw her. I haven't drawn her in a while. And this is kind of a good pose for her. It's like I don't do these kind of poses much, but like a kind of like bird's eye a little bit. I kind of like the effect you get from them. Like the opposite of the ones I usually do, where like the villain looking down from above pose like that, where you do the Mwahaha, I'm mighty. Grovel at my heels. I put you in the lower perspective. Kiss my boots. But this one's fun too, because this is good for like sometimes for like a cover art or for like a chapter art or like the end of like a splash page even. You just kind of like put this character in like a lot of overlapping shapes because of the perspective. So kind of all you have to do really. It's just oops. Yeah, no, I think I have a comic about I mean a book about like comics and comic creation and like cinematography, and it talks about how high angles take away the power because the viewer is above the person, and then the opposite's true when you're below and looking up at them from under like an undershot. Like for instance, like if a hero's defeated, you would probably do an upshot to show the character, the villain, standing above as a victor, just to emphasize just how much, like, how they truly are above the character in the situation. Really roughing this out. I need to take a breath. I think it's because the crotch was too hot, low. Yeah, that was it. This is going to be the butterfly bounty hunter, the moth bounty hunter character. I just forget how to draw her wings. I think I just. Yeah, this is the character. I'm gonna have fun with her once I get to her story a little bit more. Yeah, I have the isn't it called the four? I think it's called the Four C's of Cinematography. Yeah, because I skimmed it a few times. I need to go back and kind of go through it again to play around with some of the ideas in there. I also have a book on what is it called? Hold on one second. I gotta go look. It's in my library near me, not in the other room, thankfully. So, but I always look in there's like for Bacher has a good book on environmental design. What I was looking for. And I don't see it. It must be in the other room. I have a book on like storyboarding and animatic work, and it talks about like just like setting up scenes and how they should progress, and it's pretty cool. And it's like made by one of the Disney animators. And I like pretty much any book you can think of. I've collected so many books on like an animation and like comic design and character design. Like some that are like even outdated because they're like oh, I mean, we're all on our own path, you know, you just do you. I understand that totally, but it's like I see people 20 years younger than me that are light years ahead of me, but you just can't look at it that way, even though it's hard not to on some days, I know, but you got to find your passion and then you'll shine over everyone in that area. Like once you find like what really resonates with you, then that will become your area of expertise, and your voice will be the loudest for that, or at least if not the loudest, it'll be like noticeable is what I've found. Like with my comic, I my first comic was kind of more of a slice of life, and it was a little bit too vague, so it didn't work out because it was too vague and because it felt like a lot of other comics that other people have done. And then I kind of I went and did this story, which I mean I still got to work on and get online, but at least this one is more of a unique storyline where the character actually feels like the characters actually feel like they're actually like easier. They're easier to write. Like June is fun to write because she's just like she has a lot of the same like creative uncertainties that I have, but with playing the guitar instead of drawing. And her father is kind of the haunted past kind of like warrior that has dark secrets kind of character, but kind of like Liam Neeson in any of the Taken movies. And I thought that'd be a fun character to write in a fantasy story. Well, like I think we were talking about this last time. I mean, like with oh, what's his? Gosh, my brain's just forgetting his name right now. From Lord of the Rings, Viggo Mortensen's character. Yeah, he's just like the because like having like a character who's like got a past, and although that wouldn't really be a good parallel because he's still on his quest. He's just kind of like power. He's just grinding till he can find people to help him with his quest. He never really ran away from his responsibility. He kind of just was like, nah, I'm just not high enough level to be king. I gotta go grind in the dungeons for a little longer, and then I'll come back and I'll be so OP. You'll see. And then I'll wreck all the enemies, enemy orcs. That'd be fun. That would be a weird. With all these isekais, that would be a weird one where it's like there's so many about like I was reincarnated as the villainess, but like what if someone was reincarnated? It's like, well, shoot, I'm the bad guy, and I know how I'm going to be taken out, and it's really bad. So, what do I do? Although that would just be the same story, but just with a guy instead, so it wouldn't be that good of a story, probably. I mean, not that that stopped them before, but it's like it's just funny because it was just a shame because I liked that first villainous not the first one, but I forget what it was called. But there's this one isekai or whatever those are called where with the villainess where it's this person who played those dating games and realized that she was the antagonist in the story, and she's like, uh-oh, I'm going to be exiled if I play this game, if I let things go the way they are supposed to in this story. So I have to become best friends with the princess. So it wasn't even just like it was a date. It wasn't even just like she was trying to win the prince's heart. She's actually just trying to be a nicer person to everyone. I think I know which one you're talking about. There's also yes. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Everyone's path is different. We all kind of like pick up certain things at different times too. I see. I feel so bad. It must be so hard. I see. I had the benefit that there wasn't as big of a me. There wasn't so much internet back when I started, or at least it wasn't this. God, I'm aging myself. I know. I don't care, but like what's the word I'm trying to think of? Just posting online in general was like intimidating, sure, but it wasn't the same because like the biggest thing I had to do, and I wish I had done it because it would have been smart because back then that was like nothing compared to the, like social media now, is conceptart.org used to be a thing, and I really regret not utilizing it more because it disappeared. It might have a Discord. I'll have to look into that. But it was a great way to get in touch with like people in the field and like learn from them. Like Bobby Chu was on concept art. He's also on DeviantArt, but DeviantArt was and is still just so clogged with different audiences that like it's impossible to get a really strong critique on there. There's like so many people that are in niche groups on there that it's like, sure, you could try and maybe you would be lucky. I've gotten a few okay critiques on there, but most of them were just like, gee whiz, this looks great. And I'm like, cool, thanks, Pen. It's like, oh cool. I didn't need any assurance that it looked good. I know it looked good. I spent like 12 hours on this drawing, but I want a professional opinion on it because I'm going to make it a portfolio piece. Oh, I still remember the first critique I gave someone else on there. Oh, talk about cringe. I tried to give this guy like I was a graphic design student. I was excited, and I was just trying to critique someone's work, and they're like, "I'm a professional." I'm like, oh, "Okay, sorry." It's like, this work was published. I'm like, oh, okay. I just wanted to put in my 2 cents. I didn't say it was bad. Sorry. and I like shrunk away. See, I didn't want to say it. I'm glad you did. I kind of wish that there was. I mean, there are filters you can put in there. So I think if you apply the filters to being on there, there's a lot of really good artists, like several cartoonists and like industry professionals, like Sean Cheeks Galloway's. I think he still has work on there, and I love that work. It's so good. And I think a couple of Marvel artists are still on there, and image artists. So there's some good people on there. It's just the problem is, there you won't see them because the first page is just like, oh look, Sonic stuff, Sonic stuff, Sonic stuff, and it's like, guys, enough of the Sonic. Like, it's good to have interest, but yeesh. And now it's probably has been, isn't it? Or no, it's K-pop. I bet now. Oh, for sure. Yeah, you're gonna find good art in any like niche. I saw some really good Sonic art, and I've seen some really good art from people doing fan art. And I do fan art sometimes too, but I'm always just kind of nervous because like I mean I've been not on here really, but over there I was nervous because I was worried that I would get people would think I only do that, and I'm like, no, I do original art, I do original characters. Whereas on here when I do it, I don't care because like everyone sees the backlog of stuff I have where I'm doing like original characters, so like I don't mind taking a break once in a while to do a character from like the 80s, like that one I'm working on. I'm liking this. This is making her look. Doing this down shot with her is definitely adding to her vulnerability. I like that because she's not a bad character. She's not bad. She's just drawn that way. No, just kidding. she's a she's a bounty hunter character. She's kind of like, and I'm playing with her hair a little bit because she looked a little bit too much like Grace. So I'm giving her kind of more like what's her name? Selfie from Final Fantasy VIII, where it kind of parts like that. I kind of like that. And since she's a pixie, it'll I just think that would be a good design for her. Like a goth pixie is pretty much what she is. And I got her without her jacket on here, so she's gonna have her bracers with the fuzzy bracers. So I thought was pretty cool because they make it look like she's got like kind of like a moth. Yeah, right? Definitely. Yeah, I go back to the like. I need to. I still. That's the one book I don't have from for animation is the Nine Old Men. I kind of want to get that book just so I can finally like remember all their names, because I always am talking about the Nine Old Men of Disney animation, but I always forget all of them. I know Frank and Ollie, and there's Andrew Deja, and Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the guy who did thank you. I'm also using a reference, but thanks. I mean, I'm using a reference for the pose itself. This is a character I've made, though, so... And I'm trying to draw her from memory, so, just so that I can get better at her, but... I'll show you what she looks like, actually. Probably should have her out in some form, because that might help a little. Where'd she go? Where'd she go? Is this it? Guys, where is she? Oh, here she is. Yeah. See what I mean? I kind of changed her hairstyle a little because it's like, it's not bad. It's just, I thought I would just try something different with this. It's a little bit. Makes her look a little bit like close. Makes her look possibly. Oh yeah, no, I'm not. I said that. I'm sure I made the mistake of making it sound like I am, but yeah, no, it's great to use. It's smart to use reference because like there's just too much that can go wrong. There's so much you need to draw, and like I mean, why stress yourself out when there's so much? I mean, so many great places to look for like reference. Because the thing is, you just don't want to copy. Like, for instance, like this isn't even 100% of the pose. Like her hands are in the drawing in the pose that I was looking at. Her hands on her hip, but I moved it up so that she's holding a weapon. And this hand is going to be might make it actually doing something different. Maybe she's got like a. She might be holding a knife or something, yeah. But yeah, it's always fun to. That's one thing I would recommend too when you're especially when you're early on, like our ninja with you, like find people that really inspire you and study like why they inspire you. Oh, it is. Yeah, perspective. There's an entire like. I would say like a good thing to do is go out and just like draw from real life and what I used to do is I would go into parks and just like sit down and draw like everything around me. Or you can do it at like I used to do that at Barnes and Noble too. But parks are you don't have to buy coffee at a park. So I recommend that. Plus honestly, I've joked in the past about being nervous about drawing around other people, but honestly, I've never had someone interrupt me when I draw, so I don't think that should ever be someone's concern. I don't think I've ever seen anyone be rude enough to like interrupt a drawing session. I think one time when I was at I had a giant sketch pad with me and I was working in ink, and someone just walked over and is like, looked at the character I was drawing and is like, "Oh my gosh, that's so cool!" And I'm like, "Oh, thanks." And they were probably just impressed that I brought something. I was toting around like this giant sketchbook. Like, I think it was like it was probably like bigger than 11 by 17. So I'm trying to think what the next size up after that is. But it was like not Bristol, but it was like a harder paper. Oh yeah, no, I need to get better at fabrics too. I have there's On Pinterest, there's an entire what's it called? 1 second, let me get it. 1 second. I have it. I had it in a window. I'll find it in a second for you. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, here it is. Well, this is okay. Clothing. Copy. Paste. There you go. Wait, what? Oops. Nope, that didn't work. 1 second. Sorry. It did not paste. 1 second. Yeah, no, this is like a... There isn't there? Okay. Because this is like, as long as you have the resource... I was going to put it up for Art Ninja too. Let me see if I can just grab that really quick. Just so I can... Oh, that's why I did wrong. I only copied like 2 letters. That would affect it. Okay, here we go. And then just go over here. Paste. There. Okay. Yeah, that should get you... Just so if anyone wants to check that out. Zephy has like so many good tutorials. I definitely recommend their stuff. I'm probably going to go through it this month even just to like refine mine again because yeah, it's just a good idea to like go back and look at your work and try and clean it up every once in a while. Especially because it's so easy to get comfortable and then you realize that it's like, oh no, I've been kind of resting on my laurels a little bit and I've realized that I could be better in certain areas. And for me, it's more about efficiency. I'm trying to get faster so I can get the comic done at a faster pace, because right now it's obviously not going along fast, so... Anything I can do to make that the production faster would be great. She's taking longer than I meant to take, but that's okay. I was gonna do a couple of these before. I'm trying to remember who's. It's also good to look at like old artists too for inspiration. Like I always go back to NC Wyeth is probably one of my favorite early 1900s artists. He did the art for Treasure Planet, and it's so cool. Like it's got this really nice energy to it. And he's from a family of artists actually. Like his brother Andrew Wyeth did some really gorgeous paintings that are really good for studying color theory. So yeah, it's always fun. And I mean, like Norman Rockwell or Elsie Lane Decker, they all have really cool illustrative styles and very painterly look. And I'd say they really influenced why and how I make my drawings. Like I love that textured look that their stuff has, and even though I'm digital, I like to try and put that in my work. I just like that energy that you get from those brushstrokes. Yeah. Oh, Treasure Planet's like one of my favorites. Like that was a well-written villain. Like back when they really wanted to write them well. Like, and sometimes they didn't, and sometimes they didn't care. They just wanted to tell the story that was the way it was written, and that's fine too. But like with that one, they really give you like this feeling of like a story of a father and son kind of thing. A surrogate father stepping in to kind of try and put this boy on a path towards becoming the man he should be. And it was really a well-written story. I need to go back and watch that. That's another one on my list of rewatches. I need to get. It's like these crazy eyes all over her wings. And the cool thing is it also makes you hallucinate. So once she hits you with the dust, they start to change shape and size and become amorphous. Yeah, their shades are great. Well, I mean, they're after a treasure. I mean, they're pirates, so they're not good people. But they're not out to like. Their initial goal isn't to hurt anyone. It's to get this treasure. They've probably done bad things in their past that make them have their bounties, but in the story, their main goal is the treasure. And I mean, they did do that really one dark thing in the story that one guy did, but he wasn't even the main. He wasn't even the main big bad. So they wanted to make him purposely look worse, and they did a good job. The ship hand. That was such a dark moment too. Especially because later on I found out what happens when you go towards a black hole, and I'm like, oh no, that poor guy. It's like, ooh, that's so dark. Or like time dilates and everything, and ooh. No thanks. Let me see if I can get her costume again. Wait, right there. Duh. Oh yeah, she's got that on in this one. Oh, I forgot she's got the boots. They're like. But I really like all the characters are fun, and like they weren't afraid to be goofy too, and it didn't ruin the story. The only character I didn't like in Treasure Planet was the robot. Once he came into the story, I'm like, okay, this is for the kids, I get it, but he's really dragging the story to a halt for a moment. I mean, later on there is a moment where you find there is a reason for that character, but oh my gosh, I was just begging the story to move along faster once he got into it. I was like, come on guys, I get it, he's goofy, he's gonna make some was he Proto-Kane? Like, he kind of makes me think of Kane in a way. I guess not. No, because he was just very touchy. He wanted to be everyone's friend, and so that part of him, I guess, is what makes me think of Kane. But like, because everyone else, like, they already had the goof. I guess the only reason it bugs me is the professor was already the goofball character. So like adding in another goofball that's just like Animaniacs level goofy in a story that's that dark at times kind of felt like a bit out of place. I guess it was for the whiplash of like realizing what really happened and like going back to the shades, like realizing just like the truth of everything that was going on, having it being told by like the silliest character kind of added a lot more weight to it. But I don't know. They could have found out another way. And if you like that character, it's fine. It's not one of those things where he just. Part of me worries that that's might be one of the reasons it didn't. For a while, I was always worried that was one of the reasons it didn't do good. Even though, I think the main reason it didn't do good is because Disney didn't market it well. On purpose. They wanted 2D to fail, so they kind of like sabotaged it. Like they made all these movies that even I'm still so shocked that they sabotaged Princess and the Frog or Princess Frog Princess. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting its title right now. But because that had some really good animation. And I like the villain. He was so well designed. Such a simple design, but so like perfect. Like very theatrical, very like that area, like that very like exciting. Kind of like going back to like Ursula. Like he has that kind of, he has her riz, as they would say. Oh god, I'm turning to dust as we speak. Oh no! But yeah, he. I would like to study the character designs from Disney a little bit further, and I might break down. Maybe I'll do that for a session. Maybe on Friday we'll do that. I'll break down the shapes of their characters and compare them to mine and try and like improve mine. Or we can even just make that like the beginning of the session, and then I'll try and break mine down and see like if mine even have. I mean, mine do have good shapes, I think, but just and comparing isn't fair because they have a team and I'm one person. She's. I like drawing her actually, though. I think this hairstyle this is closer to her original hairstyle, so I kind of like it. Where it's kind of messy and kind of like fits her energy. She's flying around all the time, so there's no way that she would have clean, perfectly combed hair. Like it's just even with magic, there's limits that even magic has. Oh, hello. Glad you could drop by. I also miss when Disney used to like. I mean, I guess they kind of do it, but not as much as they used to. Where they would go to a location and study how to draw things, like when they did with Lion King. They went to a zoo and they just like spent the entire day like in an enclosure with like outside the enclosure, but like near the these like these specific type of lion. I forget what their breed is called because you can find out because their Scar has the leg colorings of them. I forget what they were though. They have like because they have like that black fur under their paws. But yeah, it was just so cool to. Anyway, it was just really cool to see them like go out and do the research because that's what made Ghibli like. That's what Hayao Miyazaki always said. He's just like, You need to go out into the field. You need to study from life. You need to, like, you can't just draw in a vacuum. It has to actually have some, like, it needs to be like something that feels like it's in the world. Even if it's fantasy, he wanted it to feel real. Did I lose? No, I didn't. Okay. Sorry. Let's get another pose, because this is looking good, but I want another pose. So we'll eat up some more space. Let's see, who should I do next? I'll do, how are we on time? Oh, we're at almost 2 hours now. One more. I'll do a little bit of work on the, I'll do this one really, like, maybe I'll do like a few quick ones and then, no, I'll do one more, like beginning of one, and then I'll do a little bit of work on the, is it not updating? One second, let me check something. Oh. Huh. Yeah. What should I do for this character? Because I think I was going to do... let's draw him. So... and all my poses are girls right now, so I need to get out of this area. Let's see. Oh wait, here's some for a guy. Oh wait, him! Maybe. Oh, that's a cool one. Yeah, here's a good one. Maybe. My earthbender guy. Let's draw him. I'm gonna have him doing kind of like what Katara does with it on water, but going down the side of a hill. Which I guess they've done it. They've done that too in the show, so nothing really that unique. Kind of just like surfing on a hunk of ground as he's going down the rock slide. But for clothing, going back to what we were saying about clothing, I would just go on Pinterest and just make a board of like different time period, like make like boards for like modern versus like try and do like different centuries too. Like make a, if you don't want to make like one for each, then just make like a like historical fashion folder and like just study what made fashion interesting back then. I might do that too, honestly, because I was thinking of giving the elves a different look. Like I was thinking possibly doing something funny maybe with them or something, like maybe giving them like 90s kind of fashion or something like that. But this is like further in the future. This is like 2070 or something like that is when the comic takes place or something. So like I sent the joke being that they're like 100 years behind or something like that at least, or which was my original thought, which was give them 70s clothing, because that would be even better, where they're like wearing bell bottoms and stuff. It'd be kind of cool to give them that kind of look. An elf with an afro would be pretty cool. So just thoughts. I mean, it might be something I do for like that might be the easier way to like also show the difference between the good. Well, they're not good. The Sealy elves are technically the good ones, but I don't think it's really good to call them good because they can trick you into going into the fairy realm, which is bad. So they're not 100% good. They just don't want to hurt you like the unseelie ones do, because unseelie just hate us like demons. They're essentially like. But yeah, hang on, I'm gonna get some more surf references. Surfing. Oh, that'd be cool. These are cool. I like these. These would be great for I have another character. I have that water manipulation character as well, Nyla Winters. She's a. Oh, this is the perfect one. But it's a girl. I could still use the pose, maybe. Probably Vox Machina. Or, I gotta hand it to the artist who did that show. They really made the elves look very unique. But there's also what was the other one? I mean, you're not talking about, obviously you're not talking about Bright, because Bright was like, that was just a missed opportunity. I'm not gonna say whether it was Shadowrun. Yeah, that sounds more like it. Because I was so disappointed with Bright, because it's pretty much what I want to do with my comic, and I was like, cool, I get to see someone else try this, and then I saw the movie and I'm like, oh no, it's like, why did they put this stuff into such a, they had such an easy win that you have Will Smith. How did you mess this up, guys? Oh, so many bad lines that I just hurt my head. It's just so weird that they chose to what they chose to do with the orcs. I don't understand that at all. If maybe it's because I come from a background of both Lord of the Rings and also World of Warcraft, but I never would peg that for orcs. Orcs would be more like, I don't know, like they wouldn't be that, they wouldn't just be like, it's just strange to peg them into like one like actual race. That seems really strange. Like they're their own thing. So why would they pick up on like a specific thing from us like that? And I don't know, it just was strange. Especially because they were trying to make them seem like they were just soldiers that were on the wrong side, and then you make them. You don't spend any time making them look redeemable except for that one character, and I'm like, but they're not bad. They're just they were soldiers. This isn't like Lord of the Rings where they were just tortured elves. These are actual like creatures. Yeah, whatever. It was a Netflix show. They rarely have any like. It's just a shame because it could have been a really popular show for them, but they decided to just like rush out an idea. Because that's something I'm playing around with mine, which is kind of plays more off of like free run, where the last thing you'd ever want is for elves to be in business because they don't have any agency over rushing. So they're perfectly happy playing the long game, and their long game is like thousands of years. So they're okay with the company falling apart and coming back together again, and they don't care about the lives that get ruined during that. So, I thought it might be kind of cool to play with that. And like one of my characters, Cole, the necromancer guy, pretty much saw it coming. Like everyone else thought that the elves that arrived were like saviors coming to bring us to like a better world, and then he's like, they're still like these beings that are like aliens. Like they're not. They may be here to help at the moment, but they can outlive us and change things about our lives while like a generation down the road, and they can wait. So that makes them very dangerous. Yes. See, I always liked better when vampires seem more like they would be better off in wilderness, I think, because their point is to be scavengers that prey on people. So if they just made caves in like forests, no one would find them. If they go and like live in a city, you need to have ID on you at all times. I imagine they would get pretty tired of doing the force trick, like, you don't need to see my identification every 5 minutes. You know? It's like, oh, I got pulled over again. Had to trick the cop. See, that's what I liked about that show, that anime, The Devil is a Part-Timer. Is that I was worried it was going to turn into just like him being so overpowered that it was ridiculous, but like after that first episode where he like basically like force tricked them into giving him and his subordinate an ID, he stopped using that power because he was running out of power too fast. And that was good writing, I thought, because it's like, okay, good, he's not going to become like this guy that can just do that to solve every problem. And I'm hoping that show comes back, honestly. It was really fun. I love that Lucifer had an addiction to Amazon. That was so funny. It's just like... It's like, oh, buddy, been there. It's like 1 a.m. and you're just like, I shouldn't be impulse buying, but ooh, that Gundam looks so cool. Or, ooh, look at that. This Warhammer set's on sale. I kind of want to make a nerdy elf, actually, because they're usually played as like the suave. Maybe that's what I'll work on this week when I'm not. Maybe we can work a little bit more on that on Friday too. Is creating some like side characters for the comic, like that are just like playing around with different types of prototypes for characters that are usually assigned to humans, but like making them other things, like maybe either a nerdy elf or a nerdy. Well, that would be kind of cool. A nerdy vampire might be kind of fun. Like make him like with the slick, like the Mandark. Huh. That's still better than Gate. Don't. If you like anyone out there that likes Gate, it's fine. I always say that because I always feel bad about it's my precursor to attacking a show. But I didn't like Gate. I felt like Gate was it was an early stepping stone for solo leveling, which is I can't believe I'm saying this, but it has better writing than Gate, because solo leveling is the let's riz this character up to the point where everyone's either talking about him or he's doing awesome things in the anime, and it's so wonderful. It's just goofy and it's just over the top, and you're just like, okay, I'm having fun. But Gate was this guy who, from the minute they introduced him, I hated him, because he's an Army Reserves guy who only does Army Reserves because it gives him money for his passion, which is collecting these cards for a gacha game. And I'm like, buddy, go work in a supermarket. Why are you in the army? This is such a poorly written reasoning for being in the army. I've never heard that. I've never heard someone that I've spoken to from at least the U.S. that's been like, yeah, I'm glad I can buy Warhammer characters because I'm in the army. It's like, that's dumb. It's like, buddy, you I mean, I'm sure you can, because money's not probably a problem, but still, there's safer ways to do that. If that's the real goal. Yeah, exactly. Just put the fries in the bag. Good one, Ninja. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. You're right. My problem was I think I didn't give it a chance. I saw the first episode, and you don't get to see any of that in the first episode. You just see the main character, who is probably the weakest part of that show. Everything else about that show looked really good. I love that. It was one of those shows where the humans actually do win against the against the invading force, which is my only problem. I mean, I know they write it into the story, but I always thought it was kind of weird. I mean, even with the explanation, it was weird in solo leveling. You have battleships. If you have this material that you can use for swords, why don't you just put that in shells and just carpet that entire island and be done with those stupid ants? That would have been such a quicker and safer way of dealing with that whole story arc before he even got to there. They would have been like, oh, by the way, we already took care of that while you were in a dungeon. Don't worry about it. Yeah, no, it was. But I think there was just one point that with the character where I felt like I wasn't sure if they were trying to make him out to be a sociopath or just a hero, because there's a part in the first episode where he just corrodes an orc, and I'm like, wait, this is the guy I'm rooting for? I mean, I know that they were bad, that the orcs were bad, were portrayed as an evil invading army, but that's a very quick response to a situation in a very violent manner from a guy who just said he's an otaku who collects cards. And I'm just like, wait, I'm getting whiplash here, guys. Give me an episode with this guy in the other world before, or like I don't know. It just felt like a really quick way of like try. I know they were trying to show his skill, but that's a really like quick and messy way to show skill. Doesn't like because even like with solo leveling, at least they like it felt like the way they showed skill in that with the other characters first was a little cleaner. Because then you saw how clumsy he was, and then how he got better. I'll be right back. Just need to get some water. But yeah, it's funny to go back and like go through solo leveling again and watch and realize just how much the entire thing is just like people either talking about him or him showing off how awesome he is, and it's still good. It's still fun. It's just kind of funny, but it makes sense when you realize that was like I think one of his first big webtoons. Yeah, first big manga that was put on webtoons, or maybe if it wasn't webtoons, it was like a Korean version of webtoons. And yeah, it's got nice art. I like that the power scaling for the other people was possible too, so it wasn't like the problem that with Dragon Ball Z where you're stuck with like only one person you're focusing on. Like they weren't as strong as him, but they at least got to get stronger so they could keep up with him. Like that the love interest girl and the some of the other characters, like that guy who turns into the beast form. Like both of them were able to get stronger too, which was nice to see. I heard rumor that they might be doing another Dragon Ball spin-off series, and they're going to make all the humans stronger again, because I think like the team now kind of realizes that they really like boxed both, like they made sure like Yamcha's one thing because he kind of was always a fighter but a goof, but there's other ones like Tien who's an assassin. He should be tougher than he is, and they're like, wait, we need to write him better for this because he shouldn't be this weak. And it'd be nice to see him. Like, I've seen pictures where they give him like a new like a Buddhist kind of like, or like yeah, like a kind of like a stance, a new stance he takes where he like gets more power. Because technically his attack is supposed to be faster than the Kamehameha. And then they kind of forgot that in Dragon Ball Z. And they made him use his tri-beam all the time now. Huh, that's cool. So he's taking the Luffy approach. I think we talked about that last time, but just how Luffy's real power is that he can pull people towards him. So, yeah. Or the Full Metal Alchemist approach. I always like that when there's more. They let the other characters have time to grow and to be more, and it gives you a chance to explore the world without actually being having to go everywhere, because you get to see these pockets of like the influence the world has on these different characters. Like Full Metal did that by having like the Armstrongs, and then you had like Mustang, and you got to see like how very different they are, even though they were in the same war. And Scar, seeing his side of like what that war did to his people, and then seeing some of his people to see like not everyone's like him. She was that mangaka deserves a lot of respect, because she came up with such a. I mean, it's funny that Full Metal almost like she was originally going to do a fantasy story with like magic, and then she kind of thought about it more and decided against it, and I'm so glad she did, because Full Metal is such a good story. Full Metal Alchemist. I always gotta be careful because there's Full Metal Panic as well, which I never actually saw. Also, the people from Xing are just so interesting, because they could have been like lazy or just like not written them well, but I thought that they really did a great job with. I mean, she did a great job creating these characters from another country. And I know that story-wise, not every anime needs to do that. So it's not that I'm saying every anime should. I'm just saying that for that one, it was really cool to be able to be in a situation where they could, where the story actually like it made sense to do that. It's like in My Hero Academia, I mean, they could do that, but they'd rather just stick to the main location, because that's where everything is, and that's where the story is taking place. Like, it's kind of a shame though that they. I mean, I was surprised when they went right into the vigilante instead of like doing a story like in America, considering that's where All Might's from. Like, I know that they made that movie, but it would have been kind of cool to see like an actual like more than just like one or two heroes that weren't affected by him that came over, because she was awesome. And like, I forget what her name is, the one who could she came over with those fighter jets in the last season, and that was so cool. I don't know if you made it that far, but like her abilities are really cool, and they really like. It's kind of weird that she looks a little bit like him, but they explain in the story a little bit why it's that way. I didn't think it was considering her powers. I don't really quite get why they made her look like that, unless that's like part of her ability is that she kind of bent her that she kind of made that happen. I don't know. Anyway, everything else about her is really cool, so I don't want to make it sound like I'm bad mouthing the character design. This guy's got the ability to. He's part Spriggan, so he's. I made him part Spriggan so that he could be like a. Oh wow! Okay, I need to. I'm getting kind of so impatient. I might just do that because I really want to. I know what happens because I've. My niece kind of spoiled it. She kind of gave me. I'm not annoyed about it. She likes to tell me things in the future, and it's cool. I already kind of knew what was going to happen to a degree because they've been really telegraphing heavily what was going to happen with like Ochoka, especially like her background and what she's going to do is very obvious. And well, I like that. I like that there's actually. I'm not going to spoil what because there's people probably that are going to watch this or are still lurking, and I don't want to spoil it for them. But her character, I like her character. I think some people don't like they didn't like how they handled the love interest part of her thing, but I think that was kind of the point was that they're young kids. They're not trying to focus on that because she's still trying to figure herself out as well. And like so is he. Like they're at a very like formative time. They don't really have time to be like. It's kind of like the Avatar thing of like. In the story, like Katara straight up says, "Look, I'd love to talk about this, but we're in the middle of a war, so I can't talk to you about this right now." That's funny. Huh. Chacos. Oh, Chacos. Is that because of her, like, nurturing and, like, green tea is in, like, she's, like, nurturing and, like, very, like, support kind of person? Like, kind of like how green tea is, like, essentially a nourishing thing that, like, uplifts people? Or is that just, like, a coincidental thing that they just chose? Because I remember even from her flashbacks, like, everything about her was about, like, just smiling for the heroes, kind of trying to be their like their relief because they're going through so she could even as a kid she was like so excited to be around their energy, and I liked that about her character. Oh, or I should say she liked to be around them because of how they made others feel. Like she wasn't caught up in the whole like popularity that everyone else was. She was more into the like seeing the relief on people's faces when they saw a hero. Oh, okay. It is funny though. That's a spoiler. Never mind. I was gonna talk about her power jump, but like she like everything about her character is just I thought it was fine. Like you didn't. I think that we're so used to shows like Naruto where like they show every character getting stronger, and I don't think that show needed that as much. because it was more about like the story than any of that. Because like we didn't see Shigaraki really. We saw him power scale once, but he made several jumps throughout the story in strength that we only saw because the story showed it. Like there wasn't like a cutscene where it's like, oh, by the way, this is how he learned this move, and it's like, no, he just figured it out on the spot. Or that horrible person taught him it. It was usually one of those two things. Oh, okay. Huh. Okay. Interesting. I was also amazed that they had characters like Froppy who like she in any other anime that would have been a nothing character after the first season, but she's important. And if you think about her power, she's basically Squirrel Girl, but like with water, or like not Squirrel Girl, but like Spider-Man almost, because she can like stick to walls and everything, and is although she doesn't have spider sense, so but she's very agile too. So point being, I just was amazed that they were just like, or I thought it was cool that they were able to like make these side characters who had actually like grew and like felt like they weren't just background characters. Like even that guy with the static electricity power, I thought he was gonna just be a goofball forever, and then like he got his moment, and I was just like, oh, that's so cool. Yeah, that's right. Okay, that's cool. That makes sense then. And what does Bakugo mean? Loudmouth? Insufferable jerk? Wait, are they all like that? Like, is Todoroki, is that like, for his hair color, or is that for his... I forgot, did we talk about that cool thing about his character, where, there was that girl who had the birthmark on her face, and, like, she was really self-conscious about it, but then she saw him, and she was really excited. And then, the artist from My Hero, like, one of the main artists, I think it's the mangaka, actually, he sent a... Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, I'll see you on Friday. Thanks for sticking around. I should probably head to bed too. It's getting kind of late here soon, so I'm gonna finish this up and then I guess I didn't get a chance to get around to that, but at least I got to show you guys, show everyone the progress I made on the on this one, because once I get it cleaned up a little bit more, I'm pretty happy with it. Like, it just needs some cleaned edges, and I think it will be good. And the background needs a little bit of more detail work, but not much. So, yeah. Oh, you're in New York City. Cool. Yeah, same. It's around that here too. Not to dox myself. I hope that doesn't. But Yeah, I'm gonna make him like he's pulling this rock slide behind him as he's going down this hill or down the mountainside. And maybe the wake of the that'd be kind of cool. I'll make like the wake of him moving through the ground is like uprooting the earth and making like these like rock sculptures or these rock upheavals around him. Like he's like digging into the ground and pulling it with him. That's better. Oops. This side should be more pressed against his body because of the motion he's doing. It's more like, yeah, like that. I always like drawing him because he kind of has like a look of like he could be a villain, but he's not. Like part of his story was that he was part of a faction that was labeled as evil, so he just decided. Both him and Cole both decided to just like go into hiding, like just to leave. They were done with it. They were done with the politics. They were tired of being. They kind of like figured it might happen, but when the elves labeled them as the villain, the scapegoat villains, after everything went all pear-shaped, they decided, you know what, fine. You guys want this city so bad, we'll leave it. It's your problem. Bye. And for a while, they just were in hiding. So. Sorry, I heard someone's. I think that was a microwave or something, or an air fryer probably. I heard an air fryer going off, and I'm like, that's not a fire alarm, is it? I'm like, oh boy, well, I hope not. That would be bad. Because I have heard like streams before where someone's like, "Oh, I gotta." It's like, oh, someone's at my door. I gotta go. And it's like, are they gonna be okay? And it turned out everything was fine, but you're just like waiting there, like, buddy, are you all right? Please come back. Cool, I like this though. Kind of makes me think of I think I was very much inspired by in Last Airbender. There's this guy that Roku, like trained him in that flashback story, and I think I kind of got a lot of his energy, even though he didn't talk. And I put him into Clay, where he's just like this very like proud, like proud of his skills kind of character, and like although Clay's kind of he's such an outdoors person, like he's the opposite of me. Is what I kind of wanted to make Clay. Like Cole is more me, but with like even more of a shut-in kind of personality, and Clay is pushing it the 100% in the other direction, where he's kind of like, I'm out there, I'm exploring caves, I'm doing all the things that I would have nightmares about thinking about doing. Like going into caves and like deep sea, maybe even like exploring underwater caves, even possibly. Even more so the more I find out about that stuff. I'm like, nope, 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 nope. Caves with no oxygen? Pass. Hard pass. Limestone caves? Sure. Those were cool, but not caves with no air. I think I'm gonna call it soon though. Just wanted to get this nice little bit in here, kind of like hint at like they're coming down in like this like avalanche of rock. But yeah, it's been 2.5 hours. I think that's pretty good. And this one's, I'm really happy with these two. These both came out really good. I gotta clean them up a little bit, but I'm really liking how they're. It was fun getting to do these two characters again. But hers came out real. Actually, looking at her again, I'm really happy with her pose. I'm gonna clean her up a bit. Like she looks even more menacing than she does in this. Like that up shot actually kind of looks. Even though that, like we were saying, that kind of is generally like the. In this, it's almost like voyeuristic in a way, not in a bad way, but in a way of like you're about to see her do something very bad, kind of. Kuruk, yeah, Kuruk. The whole story about yeah, I think so too. But like I agree, more they kind of in the story arc of the search, you got to find out more about like Ko's family, but it'd be fun to see Ko as the villain. She is, yeah, I like it. She's like this like bounty hunter, so I want her to be like June, where she's like where you can see her on either side. She can be a good guy or a bad guy. She's really about the money, or the prestige. Cause she's kind of like those oh, what was that called? I don't know if you've seen Vox Machina, but there's like a group of like these mercenary bounty of monster hunters, and I could see her doing that too. Like her and her partner, who's a werewolf, who's got mithril in his fur. Like it's like part of it. He's been infused with mithril. Like so, on top of being like nearly having that high regeneration, he's just also like hitting like a steel bag. It's like you really have to be lucky to hurt him. Unfortunately, he made the mistake of fighting Richard, which was, I mean, a bad idea. A guy who's a walking armory who could just be like, I don't know, just play around with you, and I'll find what. I don't think I'm gonna actually like do any critical damage to you, but let's find your limits. Because I have time and I'm faster than you. Because Richard is scary fast sometimes for a guy that big. But yeah, I would like that too, though, what you were talking about. I remember the creators of Last Airbender were making a joke saying that if they ever did a story about him, it would be like a surfing competition. And like that guy accidentally like uh, offended the Co, and and that's why he took the wife's face. It's like something like goofy like that, or I forget what it was, but it's just. Kind of give her like these cool like ridges to her wings too, so she looks more like a moth. Yeah. And I wanted to go like tighter in on her design too. I might even give her like shorts too, because she's all about speed. So anything that makes her faster and stronger is all would make sense in her design. Plus, like I was saying earlier, I like to. Oh yeah, there is. There's the There's three. I think it's like three movies, and then there's gonna be another series that's coming out. That should be interesting. I'm a little bit confused why the. I mean, it's fine, I guess, because it's what they've been doing, where they connect every series together. It's a shame that poor Korra once again gets like labeled as at fault for everything again. Like she just can't catch a break. Poor girl's doing her best, and every time something bad happens, it's her fault. But I guess that's realistic, kind of. Like, I mean, technically, Roku screwed up too, really bad. Like, no one's. I think Roku's still like MVP on screw ups. So, Korra making a few mistakes here and there is one like it's bad, but like he left Aang with a war that lasted 100 years. That's pretty bad. And he feels terrible about it. So yeah, no, I'm excited to see this like dystopian future one where they have like a new avatar, and originally I thought it was gonna be twins, but I guess they got rid of that idea, which is smart. And they have it just be like I think it's someone traveling with their master, possibly. I'll have to look at the story again, but it looks interesting. Yeah, I'll have to color this later, but anyway, it's getting late, so thanks for sticking around, Art Ninja. I really appreciate the. Oh wait, hold on. I was gonna start my closing, but just piqued my interest again. Blame her for losing. Oh, totally. Yeah, she was cornered and put in a situation that like anyone would have failed, and she still succeeded just by herself. So I 100% agree. I think that he's my least favorite of the villains, but like he was needed for that reason, because like you needed to have a reset so that like she I mean, that's the other thing about her too, is like I think they did that on purpose, because then in the future when she makes mistakes, people aren't like, why doesn't she just talk to the past avatars? It's like, oh right, they're gone. It's like, can't do that anymore. No, you don't have the jumping into like 2,000 years in the past option that the other avatars had in the past. It's like she's on her own. She can talk to the previous generation, but that's it. Like her masters are as far back as she can go, and like even then she's lucky, because like Tenzin probably has a lot of stories, so she got some help there. But I mean, even he's limited. He's not his father, so yeah. No, I agree. And like as she grows up, it's just gonna get harder. So it makes sense that they would make it her like she probably was forced into another political situation and had to make a tough decision. Or in this case, I think it was actually a supernatural like calamity that she was forced to try and circumvent, and everything went wrong. Because that's kind of what they're talking about is like everything's just out of sync. The world's like energies are out of sync and everything's like in calamity mode. So we'll see what it's like. It looks good so far from what I've seen in the art. I'm excited to see what kind of creatures they put into it. So anyway, I think I'm gonna call it here. Thanks for sticking by. I'm gonna be working on coloring these tomorrow, and maybe finish them on stream on Friday, and maybe do some work on the comic actually on Friday, because I haven't been doing that very much lately. But I also want to finish that other drawing too. And I never got around to working on this one, which I really wanted to work on, but I didn't get a chance to. So I might redraw that one anyway, because I don't like this. I don't like the pose. So I thought it was fun for the time, but I think I can make it look better. So yeah, but have a wonderful night. Yeah, and I'll see you on Friday. Take care.